All right, I got a first question, and this is for all of you, but I'll start with you, Priest. What is it like each and every time you land back here in KC, and what is that feeling you get when you come back home?
Yeah, so for me, it's a little different because coming out of San Antonio and flying back in, number one, the airport looks entirely different than the last time that I've been here, of course, and I've enjoyed that. But the first time that I got here, I went to go get my rental car, and there was a lady by the name of Latrice, and she was decked out with Chiefs gear. And I can tell you that was one of the first individuals that I saw that greeted me. Funny story is the fact that it's been about 20 years since I've played, and one thing that I found out is that Chief Nation is here, Chief Kingdom is here, and it's everywhere.
Only 20 years?
Yeah.
20 years? I don't want to say how long it's been 20 for you then.
All right, what about you, Will? What's it like when you're around the fans, the passion?
Well, the great thing about it is I live here, so I get to feel it every week, every day, be a part of it. I get a chance to sort of hang out. Watch Red Fridays is really the cool part, just watching everybody just have the vibe. And, you know, we've been spoiled for the last 7 years, for sure. And so to be able to watch those guys and go watch them in the Super Bowl and how they perform, it's a lot of fun to be a part of the Chiefs' kingdom.
Nice. And what about you, Neil? What's it like being here?
I live here also, along with Will, and most of the guys that, was drafted here, that played here, they actually, a whole lot of us still live here within the areas, I think everybody seems to settle down here in Kansas City is because of, the camaraderie. Everybody just, you can live your life and be happy and feel like you can make it in America here in the Midwest. So, not taking anything back from my man down in Texas, but I remember when I got here and I was doing the radio. I just flew from New York and I flew here in the overnight moment, and I was on the radio and the lady said, "Well, how do you feel to be here?" And I said, "Well, it's so good to be in Kansas." And I just got off a flight and I was like, "Well," she said, "Kansas." She said, "First of all, you need to know where you're at." And then I had to explain to her. I said, "Okay, I had an overnight flight. I know I'm in Kansas City. I know the river spreads different, and divides to Kansas from Missouri side. But thank you for having me."
Nice. Well, we're happy you're here. We're happy you're here. Look, Priest, I got to ask you this too. Okay, you're a Texas Longhorn, right?
Yes.
But you happen to be sitting next to two Nebraska Cornhuskers. Are you feeling safe? Are you feeling okay? What are your thoughts?
I'm actually feeling pretty good because the last time I faced Nebraska, we came away with a W, a big W.
Okay.
Oh, is that the game that I was at when they blew the whistle and they gave y'all 1 second to kick a field goal?
That's what he's saying, a field goal. He's saying a field goal, but it was a great game. And, of course, we had the likes of Sean Mitchell and Ricky Williams and James Brown. Eric Warfield was opposite on the ball, played against him. So we enjoyed a really great time, and it was the only time that we had a chance to feed the Cornhuskers a little bit of corn.
Well, you could say they were pretty loaded. I mean, you just heard like 5 guys that all did very well at the next level, so they were a little loaded at that point.
Yeah. Well, speaking of next level, Will, I'll start with you. What was it like reaching that next level when you finally became a pro and you stepped onto that field for the first time?
The greatest thing about it is that I ended up having a guy that went to Nebraska across from me. So he sort of helped me indoctrinate and learn all the little nuances, what to say and not to say, which at that point I didn't say much at all. Just say, come in, go to work, figure it out, and learn from the guys in front of you. So, and I had one of those very good young coach. Well, I shouldn't say young coaches. He was older, but he was a guy that could sort of put you in the right places at the right time. And he just took what you had and he sort of made you better and mold yourself off of what you could do, not necessarily what everybody else around you did.
Yeah, that sounds like a dream coach.
Oh, he was
walking
awesome.
into that situation.
Well,
sure.
You sort of had that hate-love relationship with him,
Okay.
He would yell and scream and cuss you out and all this other stuff, but it came from a good spot. It came from him actually trying to make make you better.
Yeah, that's like a bonus parent, right? Good parents. Love-hate relationship.
That love-hate relationship as parents. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. What about you, Neil? What was your experience like stepping onto the field for the first time as a pro?
Well, I had one goal set when I was coming in. The guys that came before me that came from the University of Nebraska, hard-working program. Guys went on the last 3 or 4 years. So I had one main objective. Like, I got to get past the 5th or 6th year because they say we are burnt out. Most of the guys are burnt out in Nebraska. So I had this common goal that, man, I got to go past 6 and 5 years to make myself feel like, I made it more, a little bit more advanced. And then I just heard about this kid that came right behind me named Will Shields, just outdid me all. Did us all. I mean, he probably played for what, 20 years?
No, not 20.
Never missed a game.
Yeah, never missed a game.
You know,
Never
it's
missed a
like,
single
man.
game.
So he superseded, man, into the highest level. But it was fun. I know Will, when I played with Will, he never, ever said anything. He was just one of those quiet guys who drove the same car forever, and he still probably got that same car, never cashed a check. That's just how this guy is.
We got rid of the car, man. We finally got rid of the car, so we're good.
But now he's in a hybrid thing. So I'm trying to follow Will. I'm trying to follow Will footsteps, man. You know, that's
Yeah,
all.
sure.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw Will. He pulled up in a hybrid. I was like, all right, that's an electric car. That's good. But I got a question for you guys. So I know moving from Nebraska and coming to Kansas City, Schottenheimer, I didn't get a chance to play with him, but I've heard some really great stories about him. How would his coaching style impact the game now, or would a bunch of his players end up getting a lot of flags, a lot of penalties just because of the aggressiveness?
Well, I mean, I can only talk from the defensive side, and Will can just elaborate on the offensive side. But, you know, he was a hell of a coach. You know, he was a defensive-oriented coach, as you know, from out of Cleveland. You know, he always liked to get his players and put them in the great spots to make things happen. And I really feel like, you know, he was a pusher, man. I mean, he was a grinder. Marty Ball, I don't know if it can exist this year. I mean, in this day and age, because we worked so hard, Priest. You know, a lot of great years was taken from me, I think, because I was, you know, doing everything that he was seeding, everything that he was giving, and then trying to give it back, you know, on the field and the product. And it just took so many years away. And I think right now, the way they're going about things now, the way the offense has changed, I still would be maybe $100 million guy. I mean, I wouldn't put that past me, but it would be nice. But those years have passed me, and you know, the only thing we can do now is just look at these younger kids and say, "Wow, look how great they have it, man." We really laid the pathway for them.
Well, you had a taste of that with having Vermeil.
Yes.
So Vermeil and Marty were similar at how they did things. That's why I didn't worry about Vermeil when he came in, because I had Marty. I had Schottenheimer, so I knew what those 2.5 to 3 hour practices were like. We'd hit every day. Yeah. We call it tenderizing the muscles, get them used to getting hit.
Tell me about it, Will.
And so when Vermeil came talking about filling up your tank,
fill your tank up.
I was like, I was used to it. It was what I was used to. I didn't know any different. So when the guys come from, you know, other places and they go, oh, well, we only practice. Matter of fact, we didn't even know what shells were until then. And so those are things that, you know, we were just used to getting that hard nose, hitting every day, getting ready for the game to a point to where practice was the hardest thing. The games became easy.
That's right.
That's crazy. Well, look, Priest and I were talking about this off mic, but the Marty Schottenheimer tree is crazy. I mean, 15 future head coaches came after him, right? I mean, that's incredible. So that's a testament to what kind of coach he was and what he instilled. Do you think he'd be successful today? I know it's a different style of ball, but he could adapt, right? You think Marty could adapt?
I think so. I mean, I think he had the DNA in him. I think that, you know, his son is making that adjustment right now in Dallas.
Sure.
So, and, you know, seeing his first outing that, you know, they looking more better than what they looked at in the past. So I think he would have fit in very well. I mean, I know he can adapt, and he sure can make an adjustment. So any coach that ever coached in the past can probably do this. And this is the offensive style of how things is. And, you know, we look back and we look at our position or we look at play, and it's similar, same stuff, but just more movement, misdirection stuff that, you know, you just have to study and have an understanding about where to go at and what to do.
Sure.
Well, if you look at Detroit today, that would be what we would be right now if you were looking at that kind of mentality.
Sure.
As far as tough nose, hit him in the mouth, do those kind of things. So that would have been Marty Ball of the day, would have been more like the Detroit teams that you see right now.
Okay.
Now, we had this conversation, remember, offline, and I had given Detroit a little bit of a praise in terms of the way that they come to work, the way that they practice, right? So
Give him a nice big hug.
I think Will has backed me on that in terms of just that philosophy that goes with the Detroit Lions and how they're going to be playing in the NFC.
Yeah. How do you feel the Lions are going to do overall this year?
Well, I think, you know, they've lost a lot of guys. The talent level's different. Every year is different. You're trying to recreate that magic you had a year ago. And I think some of that was the simple fact they were playing behind the 8 ball. When everybody got hurt, the guys that stepped up were more focused. They were ready to go. They were doing different things. Now you're getting guys back that's been injured. So first and foremost, I got to make sure my knee is going to work. I got to make sure my Achilles is healed. I got to make sure it's going to take them a little while to get back into that mode, because once you've been injured, which, I know my guy right here understands that,
Yes.
you got to trust those muscles again. You got to trust that I could get back into the middle of it. And I think that's what's going to take them a few weeks to get back into that field.
Breaking news from Bet365. New customers, Priest, $5. You just bet that and you can get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.
Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only. 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly, and you must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, and Kentucky, as well as Louisiana and select parishes. Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.